Introduction of myself. So, I'm Raj Khosla, I'm Chartered Accountant by qualification, and started this company 32 years ago. Today, it is a financial services marketplace, a great platform serving. Life to date, we would have served more than 5 million customers. What triggered me to become a technology leader? So, I don't know if I'm a leader, but yes, I can tell you. I can talk about the trigger. From my home and going to the golf club, I always drive past the National Museum. And I figured that, if we didn't absorb, develop, and implement technology, the National Museum is where I would be, and that was really the trigger. Key goals in the first instance, is to develop technology which serves the consumer, which eventually opens up, to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, and probably reaches that set of consumers and customers whom otherwise who may not otherwise be able to access financial services products. And from that I mean in terms of loans and credit cards and for that matter health insurances and so on, which is an absolute necessity in today's time and age. So that's my objective, to get there. It may be it's easier said than done, because everyone likes to talk about these things, about financial inclusion and going to tier 4 cities. It is lots more difficult to actually implement this. You see, technology could help in the first instance. We all must remember that technology is really a means to an end, and it's not an end in itself. If we can leverage technology to solve our today's problems and look into the future, technology has to be problem solving related. It cannot be technology for technology's sake. So that's the first principle that I've utilized even in our company, that try to stay half a step ahead of the landscape of how the technology is evolving, how is consumer behavior changing, and how are the banks and NBFCs changing their capabilities. So we must stay half a step ahead of that, and in the end provide a solution for consumers in the manner that they so desire. It's not always that consumers are looking for tech-enabled solutions. Some people don't like or not friendly enough with tech. So we have to be consumer oriented in as much as provide a solution to the consumer in the manner that he so seeks it. If it's fully tech-enabled, so be it. If it's a mix, so be it. Success mantra in life. Now that's it's a somewhat philosophical one. So the standard bearer is really that you have to, as a person, you have to realize that you are not the cause of anything. You're really the effect. So the minute you're getting away from that delusion and realize that you are in control, not really so much in control of your own destiny, and that somebody else controls it, that could be the overarching formula. But more to the point, with respect to what is the mantra, I have to go back to a conversation I once had with the late Mansoor Ali Khan Pataudi, Indian cricket captain a few decades ago. Sharmila Tagore's husband, by the way, for all those who didn't know. I asked him, what makes a successful cricket captain? He thought for a while, and he said, it's a tough one, Raj, but I think it's anticipation. So I said, well, would you care to, Pat, would you care to elaborate on anticipation? He said, well, one must develop a sense of, what's going to happen next, and be in a position to plan for it, to cater for it, and to make sure that you get there before the opposition. And that really is the hallmark of a successful captain. So, I've always felt that is, to whatever extent I can claim, that is my success mantra as well, is to think a little bit ahead. And in fact, if I can belabor the point, I also asked him, how does one get there? Does it, to be a successful captain means you have to be playing for 10 years, 15 years? Is that a guarantee of being a good captain? He thought for a while and said again, Raj, presumably. I said, presumably? He says, well, you can get it in 2 years, and you could play for 20 years and not get it. So it's this intuition, this sense of anticipation. If you can develop that, or if it's acquired or a mixture of both, develop it yourself and acquired, In that case, I think that would be my success mantra, is to think a little bit ahead, plan a little bit ahead, solve a little bit ahead. I mean, the message is, I'm going to sort of sound repetitive, is exactly this, is if you want to be a true tech leader, think not decades ahead, think half a step ahead, and think about solving somebody's problem, whether it's a consumer or it's your own problem at home. Whatever, technology has to have a use and application. Tech on its own, frankly, it's great. Someone must do pure science and pure research, but most of us are into applied research and applied science, and we have to put it to some good use. My suggestion to the budding tech leaders would be, find a user case and always think ahead.